Okay. Now I'd like to introduce Taylor Lush. Taylor is a sales representative for Central Ontario with Calibre Communications, and yeah, Taylor will be the last presentation for the hour. And I know it's gone by really quickly. So over to you, Taylor.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Really appreciate that introduction. So, as mentioned, my name is Taylor Lush. I am the partnership manager and the new business development manager between the Rogers and Calibre Communications partnership. There, I've been with Calibre Communications for just over a year now, and I've been heading up this partnership for about 9 to 10 months of that year. So it's been quite the experience, and we've definitely got a lot of great opportunities out of it. So yeah, that's just the gist about me here. So as mentioned here, we are Rogers' smart surveillance provider. Now that may be a term that's unfamiliar for some of you, and I understand that. It was unfamiliar for me when I first started here. But smart surveillance is a little bit different than your standard surveillance offering. Most quote unquote surveillance people seem to think of as CCTV, like it's interchangeable. You're rolling cameras, you're rolling footage, you can access that footage when you need to, and that's about it. What we find is that oftentimes isn't enough. The big difference between a standard surveillance system, CCTV, that will provide evidence of a crime or something like that that's already taken place. Smart surveillance, which is where we come in and our technology. The difference that we provide is that we're able to actually deter crime, deter accidents, deter things of that nature because we have our own monitoring center here. And also we have the technology behind all of our hardware in the field, such as our AI and our detection tech. So I'll get more into that now, but I believe the first slide we have here is a video.
Our objective is clear: the early detection and deterrence of criminal activity in real time. Through hardware and software engineering, we have created the most innovative monitoring platform to date, synergizing the limitless potential of future technologies with human intuition. Our proprietary communication protocols over cellular allow for up to 4K resolution transmissions of live video feeds, as well as a multitude of other transmission pipelines for peripherals and additional data metrics. Each unit is completely autonomous, with communications engineered into each device, allowing for a high level of redundancy. In rare situations where one unit fails, the other units on site remain fully operational. Synchro AI, our dedicated on-site neural net, is utilized to train custom subsets for specific client analytical needs. This system intelligently recognizes human beings for crime prevention, as well as many other objects, with additional custom detections added regularly. Our revolutionary video monitoring system utilizes a high-resolution, long-zoom PTZ camera that provides a full view and control of the site for live video patrolling and evidence collection. 2 high-resolution stationary cameras with the ability for additional cameras to be integrated when needed for analytic recognition and situational awareness. Our strobe lights are used to identify threat locations and is a visual deterrent to trespassers. And our proprietary speaker protocol guarantees the most reliable and clear communication in the industry for fast and effective deterrence of crime. Our optional license plate reading cameras capture images with our proprietary Synchro Plate system automatically databasing them for your review. And optional thermal identification cameras with full-range analytics are used for detection of intrusion in no-light situations. All of these peripherals are engineered for synchronicity and create the most advanced modular remote video monitoring system available to safeguard your assets. Our units are placed strategically around the location to provide optimal security coverage, with fixed cameras providing perimeter coverage, PTZ cameras for evidence and detail collection, and plate readers at road access points, culminating in complete coverage and security of your project. Our in-house technicians utilize snapshots from project cameras in 4K resolution to produce high-quality time-lapse videos of your project being built, brick by brick. Our system technicians customize analytics to each camera view to maximize detection effectiveness. When a perpetrator approaches, our monitoring operators are quick to respond with voice commands to deter and will inform authorities when required. The operators gather and qualify evidence and create log reports to keep you informed of the ongoings at your location. All of the security-related information from your property all in one spot. This is security made simple. Our proprietary system provides a user-friendly location to obtain critical security information from your property in real time and viewable on all of your devices, keeping you informed exactly when it happens for complete transparency and accountability. SynchroPlates is an innovative and proprietary license plate reading system and searchable database that provides evidence that aids in police apprehensions, while also being an exceptional site management tool, allowing you to whitelist or blacklist vehicles, track arriving or departing employees, and even verify deliveries. Synchro Alerts provides alert emails and SMS text messages exactly when you requested them. It's that simple. We are changing the way you view security. We are the future of security today.
Okay, so hopefully that gave everybody a decent overview of exactly what it is we do. I'm obviously going to go into a little bit more detail here. The one thing I'll point out is that video uses construction as a very heavy example of what it is that we do and some of our verticals that we cover. That is true that we got our main foothold in the construction industry. That's how we started. That's how we've kind of grown so fast as a company. But we are, dispersed across a number of different verticals. Power generation, electrical grids, utilities, you name it. We have a sole source contract with Hydro One, as well as some other, large corporations like the Savers Corporations, which operate Value Village locations across North America, just to name a couple of the bigger clients that we have. So one thing I'm going to walk you through here is what we call just a theft scenario, an unprotected site versus a site that utilizes our Caliber Communications technology here. Again, this uses construction as an example, but again, this can be applied to many different verticals across the board. So as you can see here, Friday at 11:56 p.m., two perpetrators, approach a construction site or the perimeter fencing of a site. 11:59, they use bolt cutters to gain entry to said site. By midnight, they begin gathering the expensive trade equipment, tools, high-value materials. A lot of that time is copper wiring and things of that nature as well, and other precious items near the fence opening. By 2:30, they've already left with everything that they've gathered in the van they brought to the site, like carrying off with over $100,000 worth of trade tools, equipment, and materials. And Monday at 6:30 a.m., if you have a standard remote monitoring system or a standard camera system, that's when you'd find out when somebody arrives on site, what happened, what you're missing, and then you'd have to check the footage to see, what you can do about it, what kind of views you had, things of that nature. So if we can go to the next slide, I can show you the comparison of exactly what would happen on one of our protected sites. So same time frame, Friday at 11:56 p.m., two of the perpetrators approach the site perimeter. They're immediately detected by our video monitoring team through our Synchro AI. Our Synchro AI is able to pick up a human being within the frame of that camera. It will generate an alert, send it to our monitoring center, which is just down the hall from me here in Stony Creek, Ontario. From there, they will receive that alert, jump on the PTZ feeds of that site, confirm there is somebody on site, and go from there. So once they confirm somebody is on site, police are immediately dispatched to that location. Operators begin tracking the suspect using the PTZ to make sure they can't escape site. And if they do, they can tell the police officers where exactly on site they escaped to. From there, our monitoring team instructs police exactly where on the site the perpetrators are to make sure that we're gathering the most valuable video evidence as possible. Police get to the site, directed to the location of the suspects. Then from there, they can make the apprehension. And then by 12:30, basically, less than half an hour or just a little bit more than half an hour after the individuals are initially detected, you're going to receive a full report of exactly what happened, exactly the steps that we took, and the eventual outcome, and all the evidence involved, whether that's pictures, videos, what have you. So this is just an overview of exactly what it is we do and how it works. As you can see, the device there is a standard Caliber Communications unit. The data that it gathers, as you can see, it's the feeds from the stationary cameras, the PTZ cameras, the data from the use of the speaker through our monitoring center, and any optional license plates that are captured, as well as the box you can see below there. That's our Synchro Detect box. It's another optional service, but from there we can utilize smaller sensors such as magnetic door contacts or motion sensors. So for example, if there's one doorway that's explicitly off limits after hours, or if there's something that you're trying to protect specifically, we can use one of these smaller sensors. That'll generate an alert every time motion's detected or that door contact is broken. And then the same series of events will occur from our monitoring center. We'll use that information, use the PTZ to first voice command the perpetrators off-site. And if that doesn't work, we'll get the police involved. All of our information, sorry, we go back quickly? Perfect. All of our information, and this is a big differentiating factor from Caliber Communications as well, all of our information is transmitted over the cellular LTE network, as we mentioned in that video. We're the only people who can operate this way in North America. We have the patents for said system, so we're the only people who can operate over the cellular LTE system rather than needing an existing Wi-Fi infrastructure. So all of that information, not only is it broadcast to from the units to us, we're also putting it into Synchro Reports, which, as the video mentioned, is our data management software. And every single one of our clients has access to that software. So you'll be getting real-time updates from people who are trespassing on your premises, license plates that are picked up, if that's a service that you use, whatever photo and video evidence of people, trespassing or trying to break into your site, you'll be automatically updated with that as soon as it's put into our system, and our monitoring center puts that information into that system as soon as they receive it. So we can go to the next one now. So just a high-level overview of what a standard unit looks like. 2 stationary cameras and a PTZ, as mentioned in that video. PTZ standing for pan, tilt, zoom. That is the camera that our monitoring operators can operate when trying to follow a perpetrator. And also through Synchro Reports, that's the camera that you would be able to operate remotely during non-monitored hours. We also have our units, they have a strobe light and also the live communication speaker that was mentioned in that video. That is how we, verbally voice command people off of your site when they're not supposed to be there. That comes directly from one of our monitoring operators. It's not a standard recording saying that you're being monitored. It's a real human being speaking live to those people who are on your site unauthorized. So a little bit more into Synchro Detect here. Again, I covered this briefly earlier, but these are the type of, smaller sensors that can be utilized with the Synchro Detect box. As you can see, the magnetic door contacts and the wireless motion detectors. These give you another additional layer of security on top of the standard Caliber Communications unit, which allows you to have kind of a macro view of your site and its security, and also a micro view by using these smaller sensors if needed. We also have solar powered units. Our units run off about 30 watts of power, which is about the same amount as a standard light bulb. So if we're ever in a situation where there's not reliable power on site, we can operate a unit just through solely through solar power. I mean, most of us, I'm assuming, live in Canada, and with the weather these days, obviously solar power on its own can sometimes be an issue during the winter. So we'll also provide our clients with a 24 or 72-hour battery backup, just in case we get repeated days like today, where it's overcast and snowy, and obviously not the ideal circumstances for solar power. We also have trailer units for times that we need to move our coverage around on site. We also have solar trailer units where we don't have anything to mount on. We don't have anywhere to put our standard unit. We could wheel in a trailer unit, extend the arm straight up from it. You'll get the same level of capability from a trailer unit as you would a standard unit. And you can either choose to have a powered trailer unit, which comes with a 300-foot power cord, or a solar trailer unit, which, as you can see, comes pre-equipped with solar panels. And both our standard solar units and our trailer units have the same level of capability as our standard Caliber Communication units. So I'm sure now that I've mentioned everything, being transmitted through the cellular LTE network, I'm sure there's been, at least some internal questions about network security. We have our own proprietary MPLS system, which means all of the data stays completely private and accessible. You cannot access the data that's being transmitted through standard internet. make sure that there's a layer of separation between people using publicly registered networks and our MPLS system to make sure that there's no risk of feeds being hacked or data being stolen due to the use of one of our units. This makes sure that we're transmitting data extremely efficiently, and your privacy and your data are essentially inaccessible and impervious to any hacking attempts thanks to the system. So a little more overview on the tech behind it. I've already mentioned Synchro AI, which is our homegrown or house-built AI system. We're one of a handful of companies in North America to build their own AI and neural network from the ground up. And the reason we did that is because it allows us to have that greater level of detection. A lot of quote unquote competitors in the sphere will use standard motion detection. They can't tell the difference between a tarp flapping in the wind or somebody breaking onto site and stealing materials. The difference between us and potential competitors is that our system is smart enough to recognize a human being in the frame, and that's when it generates an alert, not when a squirrel walks by just because it detects motion. Further, we have some advanced certifications that nobody else in the industry has. We are Canada's first and only UL and ULC certified monitoring center. What that means is we've put the redundancies in place to ensure the absolute minimal amount of potential downtime from our monitoring center. So the building I sit in right now, where our monitoring center is housed, has 3 forms of power: a standard shore power, battery backup power, and a generator if necessary. Our monitoring center is monitored by a third party. So basically, we have somebody watching us while we watch our sites. And the reason that we do that is because of all the criminal activity that we've helped to deter, and some of the criminal activity that we've provided evidence for. We've helped put some people in jail. So as you can imagine, people might want to take some revenge on us, and we are fully prepared for that eventuality. And if all else fails, let's say our monitoring center goes down by some act of God, we have a secondary monitoring facility 10 minutes up the road. So if something goes wrong here where our systems go offline, all of our monitoring operators can get in their car, drive 10 minutes up the road, sit back down, and continue monitoring all of our sites. And one further note in regards to compliance and certifications, all of the units that we put out into the field are CSA inspected and SPE 1000 compliant, and we're the only people who do that with every single unit we put out into the field. So I believe the next slide is a Synchro AI video about our human detection. So this one has no sound, so I'm just going to talk over it. So as you can see, we have somebody at a condo build or finished condo build, unauthorized after hours. You can see it's generating a person alert there. Every time one of those rectangles shows up, that represents an alert that's being sent to our monitoring center. From there, as I mentioned, they're going to get on the PTZ feed, verify that threat, and then handle it accordingly. So once the threat's been verified, the AI gets turned off, and we turn into basically spectators as to how the police handled it. As you can see, the police show up on scene very, very quickly. And from there, the suspect is very quickly apprehended. And one thing that we will do is we'll monitor the entire situation from the moment that we detect somebody on site to the moment they're escorted off the site. And the reason that we do that is not only for the safety of the officers, but the safety of the potential perpetrator as well. We find everybody behaves a little bit better when they know there's an eye in the sky, so to speak. So this is just an example of our monitoring operator making sure they follow the police all the way to the vehicle to make sure that we have every possible angle covered. Another example here, this was on one of our power generation sites, I believe, out in Alberta. As you can see, the system is detecting both of these perpetrators as they're trying to steal material on site. And already, as you can see the camera moving around, our monitoring operator is operating that camera and following them as they move across the site. So we're going to see here in a couple of minutes, they're going to escape through the hole they made in the fence and enter into a vehicle. As you can see, they're running very, very quickly to their vehicle. And you're going to see here in a couple of minutes, as they take off and drive away, once they get everything sorted out and get the car started here, they attempt to drive away. And as you can see already, there's a vehicle right behind them. That is the police. So the police were quick to respond and make sure that apprehension took place immediately. So you're going to see here, they realize in a couple of seconds that they're pretty well caught, and they end up pulling the vehicle over, and they are apprehended by the officers on scene. So as you can see, the officers approach, the suspects exit the vehicle and give themselves up because they know they're as good as caught. And one final example here, this is from one of our Savers Corporation sites that I mentioned earlier. These fine gentlemen are stealing donations from a donation bin. So as you can see, AI works as planned. It's detecting these human beings. And as you can see, it's already being monitored by one of our site operators, or sorry, monitoring operators. So it can pick up both these human beings, generate these alerts. We zoom in to make sure we have their license plate recorded and on file. And then from there, as they tried to escape, they were quickly met by the police, who escorted them back to the donation site so they could give back all the stuff that they were trying to make off with. So as you can see, they're bringing everything back so it can get to, to the donation bin and then handled by our clients as, as they see fit. So that's just an example of how our AI works. We're able to utilize our AI for fire as well. That's a little bit different than our human detection, but it is another option that we have. So I'm just going to talk quickly about Synchro Reports here. I know the video partially covered it here. But Synchro Reports is the data management system that we use, and we have access to all of our clients. So you'll have access to all of our log reports. Whenever anything happens on site, our monitoring operators will create a log report. Incident reports, that's whenever we need to call the authorities onto your site. And we also have an on-staff investigations department. So what an investigation is when something takes place during non-monitored hours. Monitored hours are 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. If something takes place during the standard workday, like an accident, incident of violence, attempted theft during daylight, you can email us. We will go and review the footage and provide you with all the potential evidence of that of that event that took place while people were on site. Synchro Plates, that was mentioned briefly in the video as well. We are Canada's largest non-law enforcement database, largest civilian database of license plates, because every single license plate that we detect, we take a snapshot of, and our software can actually meta tag that plate and store it in our database to make sure that should something happen with a specific vehicle and we wanted to blacklist that plate for future incidents, we can do that. And then finally, Synchro Alerts, that's how we can customize your experience with Calibre Communications. We can provide, alerts for any number of things that is, rampant on your site, whether it's trespassing, theft, vandalism, anything like that. And if you want to be notified via email, via text message, via phone call, some combination of the three, that is how you customize our service to you. So we can, there we go, perfect. I'm just going to quickly, I know we're short on time. I'm going to quickly.
Yep. We're going to leave a few minutes for Q&A.
Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly mention I already mentioned our sole source contract with Hydro One. This info is a little bit outdated. We have over 150 total sites now. And as you can see, a large number of criminals deterred and arrests made and log reports and license plates captured. The next one is Savers Corporation, as I mentioned before as well. I believe that's the next slide. Yeah, there it is. As you can see, we have far more than 30 sites now. I believe we're over 70, but as you can see, the number of trespassers and criminals deterred, arrests made, log reports, license plates, all a very massive number for that number of sites. So as you can see, we're guarding those sites very, very efficiently. So we can move on to the end here.
Great.
For the time.
Thank you, Taylor. No, that was great. And yeah, having secure buildings, I mean, that's very important to the occupants, and myself included. We want to make sure we're working, shopping, or living, in a safe space. So there is one question did come through here. What does the panel think about fire mitigation? So Taylor, I'll hand that over to you.
Yeah, so what I can tell you about fire mitigation is we actually have a very similar, it was actually initially included in this presentation, but we're making some tweaks to it, so I didn't want to speak directly to it. Basically, it operates in a very similar way as our human detection. So it can detect, fire as soon as, as soon as a blaze pops up, or as soon as a small flame pops up, we can detect that fire within 3 frames of video, the same way that we can detect human beings within 3 frames of video. So the way that you saw our human detection behave, that's very similar to how our fire detection behaves. The only reason we took it out of this presentation here is because we're making some tweaks to it, but it is another option that we have.
Thanks, Taylor.
No problem.
And now, If there are any additional questions, as I said earlier, our team will be following up with you, and you can connect with a Rogers team member who will be able to answer those questions as well. I know we're timing out here, but just one last thing here I wanted to share with you is our smart buildings video, and the video actually demonstrates all of the smart building solutions that we offer.
Notre façon de vivre et de travailler a changé. Le monde est connecté et toujours actif. Vos immeubles doivent évoluer pour suivre le rythme. Les locataires et les employés s'attendent à un environnement sécuritaire et adapté à leurs besoins. L'accent mis sur l'environnement, y compris les règlements et les incitatifs, rend la durabilité essentielle, renforçant le besoin de solutions rentables. Les technologies d'immeubles intelligents aident à réduire les coûts et la consommation d'énergie jusqu'à 50%. Surveillez à distance vos immeubles, recevez des alertes en cas d'intrusion ou lorsqu'un composant doit être réparé. Assurez-vous ainsi que votre personnel est déployé efficacement. Avec la collecte de données en temps réel, les opérations seront plus efficaces, car l'intelligence artificielle et l'apprentissage machine aident à résoudre les problèmes et à affecter les ressources. L'entretien prédictif permet entre autres d'augmenter la durée de vie de l'équipement et de l'infrastructure. Les systèmes optimisés par l'intelligence artificielle, comme les systèmes de CVCA et la plomberie, améliorent l'efficacité de votre immeuble. Il y a plusieurs avantages pour les occupants: émissions de CO2 réduites, orientation personnalisée, nettoyage des toilettes optimisé et sécurité accrue, tout en préservant la confidentialité. Toutes ces solutions améliorent le bien-être physique et mental. Les entreprises en profitent en attirant une clientèle fidèle. Les employeurs bénéficient de commodités modernes et durables, permettant d'avoir du personnel heureux, engagé et productif. Rogers Services Affaires et les leaders dans le domaine vous aident à concevoir, déployer et gérer les systèmes de prochaine génération pour votre immeuble ou votre nouvelle construction. Propulsons votre immeuble vers l'avenir aujourd'hui.
Great. And just for everyone's information, that video is available on our website. It's rogers.com/smart-buildings. There's also a lot of informative information that you can find on the website. Now, yeah, with that said, we're at the top of the hour. I just wanted to thank everyone for attending the webinar. We hope that you learned something new today and gained some insights into, some of the amazing Rogers partnerships that we have and the importance of risk mitigation. Also wanted to extend a big thank you to our presenters, so Rebecca, Sam, and Taylor. We couldn't have done it without you. And thanks again, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.